you moved on from a quarterback who showed you that he could play at a high level. Last season, he had over 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and led your team to a 14-3 season. So I want to talk about the Minnesota Vikings and the decision that they made to move on from Sam Darnold. Now, that is not news, right? But I just want to talk about it in retrospective and why it was stupid. I'm going to be honest with you. The Minnesota Vikings moving on from Sam Darnold was stupid. And I don't care what any Vikings fan tries to tell me. No, yeah, did start J.J. McCarthy. You spent a first-round draft pick on him. Okay, you moved on from a quarterback who showed you that he could play at a high level. Last season, he had over 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and led your team to a 14-3 season. If you spent a first-round draft pick on that guy, would you be upset about that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, you'd have to move on from J.J. McCarthy. You'd have to give a quarterback who obviously deserves it a big contract. So what? You move on from J.J. McCarthy, you get a second-round pick, whatever it may be, and you have a franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold, and you are maybe the best team in the NFC. I honestly think that if they would have Sam Darnold as their quarterback, they're the best team in the NFC. Because I think that the Minnesota Vikings have more weapons than the Seattle Seahawks. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And that's respect to the Seattle Seahawks. They have a damn good football team and an offense. But it's not like what they have in Minnesota. And in this NFC, absolutely, the Minnesota Vikings, if they had Sam Darnold, would make the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind about that. What a stupid decision moving on from this guy. And you move on from somebody, you move on from a guy who proved to you that he could throw 30 plus touchdowns, throw for 4,300 plus yards, and have 14 wins in a season, lead your team to 14 wins. And you go on to a guy that has proven nothing. Nothing. A guy who was looked at as a project coming into the NFL. Great decision, Vikings. And now you're seeing the result of it. A guy who was injured his rookie season. A guy who's injured right now. Probably an injury-prone quarterback. And this is an organization I hold in very high regard. I think the Vikings are a tremendous organization. They made a stupid decision here. Moving on from a quarterback, as productive as he was for a quarterback who had a season-ending injury his first season, and now is dealing with an injury now. Now you have Carson Wentz as your quarterback, who, by the way, let's just be 100% honest, he's not even a backup quarterback in the league. Carson Wentz is terrible amongst relative to NFL players, because I have to say this now because fans get all in a tizzy when I say that a quarterback is terrible. But amongst NFL quarterbacks, he's terrible. That team that the Minnesota Vikings have and the weapons they have offensively, for Wentz to play the way he has, he's bad. He is awful. He's not even a backup NFL quarterback. He has a great arm. He could throw the ball a mile. He cannot complete a 5-yard. He can't even complete a 5 and out accurately, consistently. He's awful. And the Vikings made their bed, and they have to sleep in it. They have to sleep in the fact that in a weak NFC this year, because that's what it is. While I really like some of these teams, I like the Seahawks, I like the Rams, I like the Lions, I like these teams. But I mean, this is a winnable conference for a team like Minnesota if they had a quarterback like Sam Darnold back there delivering the rock to Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson. I mean, it's so crazy to me. They won 14 games last year, and they said he's not good enough. Not good enough. We're going to move on to a quarterback who hasn't proven anything in the NFL because we spent a first-round pick on him. Even though if you spent a first-round pick on a quarterback and they gave you 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions with 4,300 plus yards and lead you to a 14-win season. Yeah, he came up small in the biggest spots last year. Fine. Gotcha. Got it. Noted. You are still making progress as an organization. You moved on from Kirk Cousins, and you had a quarterback. You upgraded a quarterback last year. And then you significantly downgraded JJ McCarthy, to me, I think is a guy who's going to continue to struggle with injuries. I don't wish that upon the young man. I don't. But now they're in a situation where they're tied to this guy because they spent a first-round pick on him. And I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people in that Vikings organization that are kicking themselves from moving on from Sam Darnold. Because, I mean, let's look at the Vikings' schedule right now. I want to look at this. So they're 3-4 right now. They lost to the Falcons 22-6. I think if they have Sam Darnold only giving up 22 points, they could have won that game. They could have beat the Steelers. They could have beat the Eagles. Yeah. And honestly, like let's be 100% honest here, right? Carson Wentz was god awful. And if they had a quarterback who wasn't god awful, they might have even won that game last night. Like, that's how good Sam Darnold was for the Vikings, and that's how good he's playing right now. That is it blows my mind. It blows my mind. He's a 28-year-old quarterback. He obviously made tremendous amount of strides, right? Like he got coached by Kyle Shanahan. Obviously, he picked up a lot from Kyle Shanahan. Then he got coached by Kevin O'Connell, and it obviously worked. He became the quarterback that we expected him to be coming out of USC. And the Vikings were like, no, we're good. We're going to go on to a guy who coming out of college wasn't nearly the quarterback Sam Darnold was. J.J. McCarthy in Michigan, Sam Darnold at USC, not even remotely close to each other. Like, there's a reason why Sam Darnold was the 3rd overall pick in his draft. He played for bad organizations. And for Kevin O'Connell, and I love Kevin O'Connell, and I don't like criticizing this organization because I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. But I'm going to hold them accountable when they need to be held accountable. I'm going to hold Kevin O'Connell accountable when he needs to be held accountable. Love the guy. Think he's a great coach. Think he's a great person. I don't like criticizing him. But for him to say, quarterbacks don't fail a franchise, franchises fail the quarterbacks, I 100% agree with that. But for him to have the information that he had, knowing that he played for the Panthers and the Jets, and then seeing what he did with the Vikings. If Kevin O'Connell went into the Vikings front office and said, no, we're not moving on from Sam Darnold. I want him here. He's the guy for us. He would still be the quarterback. That's the type of pull that Kevin O'Connell has. But he probably vouched for J.J. McCarthy. That was the wrong decision. And I get what the Vikings are trying to do. They're trying to bring in these reclamation project quarterbacks to be their backup because of what Kevin O'Connell says about franchises don't fail quarterbacks. Quarterbacks fail the franchise. Or I'm sorry, quarterbacks don't fail franchises. Franchises fail the quarterbacks. And it's absolutely true. And he's probably looking at Carson Wentz. He probably said, that's a reclamation project. I can work with that. But it didn't work this time because Carson Wentz is terrible. He is awful. So, I mean, what are they going to do now? You want to know what? I'm going to say this right now. We're filming this on October 24th, 2025. When the Colts move on from Anthony Richardson, he will be a Minnesota Viking. He will be a Minnesota Viking. How much do you want to expect? How much do you want to bet on that? Because that's what's going to happen. FBI, please don't bring me in. I'm not doing any type of gambling. Okay, I'm not doing it. Please do not bring me in. I'm not letting anybody. I'm not connected to any NFL franchise. I'm not connected to the NFL. I'm just a regular civilian. Please don't bring me in. So yeah, Vikings, just a terrible decision.